Powered by Riverside.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Who is Kyle Graham podcast, and happy Father's Day to everyone out there. Now, first, before I get started, as always, as a reminder, always press the subscribe button to get notifications for brand new episodes and bonus episodes about Who is Kyle Graham podcast. So whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or Who is Kyle Graham Podcast.riverside.com. Press the subscribe button and get your notifications for brand new episodes and bonus episodes to come throughout the summer. And I have a few surprises that I'm working on, so it should be a great summer. I'm going to leave it at that. So don't forget, press the subscribe button. Let everybody know about Who is Kyle Graham. Put the comments in, get the algorithms up, and spread the word. Who is Kyle Graham? It's easy to remember. Like I said, happy Father's Day. As I'm recording this is Father's Day. And for those who are new to the show and new to me, my previous show, since 2019, I would do a random, start out random Father's Day rant. I don't know where it came from back in 2019. I just don't know. It was Father's Day weekend, and my co-host at the time and I were just discussing how, people look down on Father's Day compared to Mother's Day and other holidays. And I just went on this rant, and it caught on. I think it was like one of my highest rated episodes I did about the rant. I didn't really think people was like paying attention or whatever, and people were like, oh, that was funny about the rant. So I made it like a yearly thing because it's kind of true about Father's Day and how much people crap on it and don't really give the fathers their balloons. You know what I mean? So the fathers who, like the fathers, the guardians, the stepfathers, the godfathers, the great uncles, the great grandfathers, the grandfathers, the boyfriends, whoever is in that father figure role, I'll give you your balloons today. Now, before we can understand Father's Day, how the Father's Day has come about, well, I did a little research. All right. So Father's Day was founded in the United States in the early 20th century to complement Mother's Day. Sonora Smart Dodd of Spokane, Washington, spearheaded the creation in 1910 to honor her Civil War veteran father who raised 6 children as a single parent. Yeah. It became permanent of a U.S. holiday not until 1972. It took that long for people to respect fathers. That's messed up. Now, as time went on, Father's Day has kind of been getting shitted on. And I looked up, believe it or not, of course you can believe it because you know who I am by now. Where does Father's Day rank in holidays? And according to YouGov.com, this is YouGov.com, well, let's just say Father's Day is number 9. Number 1 is Thanksgiving, and before Father's Day is Halloween. How the fuck is Halloween? Halloween. There's something ghouls and goblins and treats and candies and shit. It's above Father's Day. You know what our fathers, women need ghouls and goblins and shit? Fathers been around longer than Halloween. How did Halloween get more respect? More respect than fathers. Hey, before that, number 8 is Independence Day. Now, fathers been around longer than Independence Day. Again, ranked all the way. Well, you know what Mother's Day is? Number 2. How about that? Now, don't you need a 1 and a 2 to kind of get it on to make kids? So how the fuck is Mother's Day number 2 and Father's Day is number 9? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to make this very clear. And I understand. I get it. You know, the stigmatism of fathers not being around and all that stuff in the past. I got you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Currently, the new era, you got more deadbeat moms than you got fathers. You dig what I'm saying? It's more the fathers step up and do that damn thing. These don't get their balloons. You know what I'm saying? And the bullshit gifts that they give fathers, a fucking mug with #1 dad. But mom, she gets a full course everything. I'll tell you this. Where I work at, right? For Mother's Day, it went all out. Brunch, flowers, all this shit for mothers. You know what they did for Father's Day? Some bullshit ass bar cart with fucking soft pretzels and dollar store tools and Skittles to say Happy Father's Day. What the fuck is that? That's how you see fathers? Really? Fuck that. Bullshit ties, bullshit mugs. Come on. Listen, fathers out there, you tell your spouse, you tell your wife, you tell your boyfriend, you tell your husband, you tell your girlfriend, you tell your finances. You want something better than a little waka waka hoo-hoo in the morning thinking, hey, that's your gift, that's all you're getting. Or, I'll just take you out for the second time this year for dinner. The first time is your birthday, second time is for dinner. The rest of the other time you're paying for yourself. No, just because it's just, it's Father, I'm gonna give him some, and I'll take him to some Outback. I'll give him some back, and you take him to Outback. You know what I'm saying? This guy over there know what I'm talking about. Bullshit. Listen, you should get real gifts. If mothers want real gifts, you should get real gifts. Like a nice watch. You know what I'm saying? If you're into sports memorabilia. You want to go see a concert, some concert tickets. Into video games, a game console, some games. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, if you got it like that, get a fucking car. Get it, whatever. Whatever you like, they should get, no matter how crazy or weird it sounds. Not just a little card with a $25 gift card to like Dunkin' Donuts. You know what I'm saying? Not just a mug with #1 dad on it. Nah. Because they want to go for a $25 gift card. They're not going for some lame shit. They want you to go all out. So fathers should get the same thing. I know a lot of fathers, or in that father role, y'all feel me. You just turn to look, this is what I want. I want to be treated equally. Shit, crown me. That little waka waka, ho-ho. No, that should come with the motherly, fatherly, wifely duty. That should not just be a special occasion. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I know what you're saying. Kyle, what about you? Well, I'm single. The single fathers out there is different. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't have a wife. I don't have a finances or a girlfriend. So it's a little bit different. So I get barely shit. Except I may get a card, a little gift from my mom. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else will get a text or what have you. So the single guys might be a little bit different. But you cats out there who are in a relationship with wife, finances, girlfriend, husband, boyfriend, whatever, you tell them, like, look here, dig the move. This is what I want. I want a big face watch. I want, a ring or something. You know what I mean? Get your balloons. Get your balloons. Get some money. Don't give me a bullshit card, like something. And don't just take me out to dinner because, his father, I'm just going to do that for him. I'm going to do something, girl. I'm just going to take him out to dinner for the second time of the year. So out of 365 days of the year, only twice that she's treating for you. One, again, is your birthday. Second is Father's Day. Come on. That's nothing. Get a real gift. Father's Day need to be pushed up above Halloween, above Independence Day. What the fuck? Come on. As sirens go by. They're upset out there also. We need to stand together. You know what I mean? I'm not standing for this. I'm sitting down, but if I was standing, I wouldn't stand for this. I'm sitting, but you know what I'm saying. If I was standing, I'm sitting. I'm not sitting for this. So that we need to come together. I say it every year. Tell them what you want. Don't go just for the big piece of chicken for the first time all year that's burnt and probably been in the freezer for months on end. And they found it and say, dress it up for you. Say, here you go, man. Happy Father's Day. They go about their day. Here in Philadelphia, every Mother's Day, in West Philly, for the most part, and I've been saying this for years on the previous show I was on, throughout the whole week, especially the day of Mother's Day, there's makeshift stands that these cats come up for Mother's Day, like these dollar store bullshit looking ass baskets for moms for Mother's Day and shit, like all this stuff, balloons and all that shit. Father's Day, I don't see it. The same streets, the same corners, nothing. And these cats are probably fathers on top of that. What the fuck? Are you serious? Like, come on. There are real fathers in that father figure role that need to get their balloons. They gotta celebrate them. Celebrate them. You want to be celebrated, Mom? Celebrate the fathers too. This ain't like the old days. Because like I said, I know some deadbeats that kind of don't do their fucking pull their parts either. So, you know what I mean? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all probably got some of y'all family or in the next room, you know what I'm saying? Or sit right next to you while you're driving. What I'm saying is, we need to come together and just move up the ranks. Leap over Halloween. Step on Independence Day. Get up to number 5 next to Christmas, which is like number 6 on the list. We don't know how to slip all the way that far. Christ's birthday down to number 6. What the hell? Get close, like get up there with Christmas. Move up a little bit, inch closer to MLK. I ain't gonna diss him. But we need to be higher up in the rankings. Damn you Memorial Day. Damn you Independence Day. Damn you Halloween. Those are the 3 above that. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Alright. Got that off my chest for the year. I'll be back next year with another one. We gotta do something, people. We gotta come together. Alright, we're gonna start the show. Oh, and if you notice, during my whole rant, not once did I use the N-word. Oh, I cuss like a sailor, but I didn't use the N-word. You know, food for thought. There you go. Alright, let's move on. Going with the topics. What is happening? TEYANA Taylor to receive Icon of the Year award at the 2026 B.E.T. Awards. TEYANA Taylor will be recognized for being a multi-hyphenate creative force at the upcoming 2026 BET Award. Taylor's 35 will receive the Icon of the Year award sponsored by Hyundai. BET announced a couple weeks ago, Tuesday, June 9th. TEYANA Taylor, quote, is the embodiment of what it means to be an icon in this moment. Connie Orlando, the EVP of Specials Music and Programming and Music Strategy on BET, said in a press release. She added she doesn't ask for a seat at the table. She builds the table, design the rooms, and set the tone for everyone who walks in. Her fingerprints are all over culture, and it is an honor to celebrate everything she represents on culture's biggest night. The Icon of the Year award celebrates the artist who is defining this moment. This distinction belongs to the creative force whose presence and vision are setting the tone right now. Someone whose impact isn't measured in years, but undeniably the weight they carry in every room, every conversation, every corner of the culture they touch. The release read. In music, TEYANA first broke out in 2014, debuted 7, and most recently dropped a studio album called Escape Room in 2025. The record earned the singer-songwriter her first ever Grammy nomination in the Best R&B Album category. Last year, she also earned a first ever Golden Globe and was nominated for an Academy Award for a role in One Battle After Another. She also recently starred in Hulu's All's Fair and Netflix film The Rip. BET Awards hosted by Drewski will air live next Sunday, June 28th from the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Also this year's show, Cardi B leads the pack with nominations in 6 categories, followed by Kendrick Lamar, Mariah the Scientist with 5 each. There are also 2 new award categories: the Fashion Vanguard Award for Cultural Impact and Fashion, and the Pulse Award for a Creator Campaign and Content Series making a powerful impact on Black culture. Stop using the N-word. TEYANA Taylor had a very huge breakout year in 2025. I have yet, and I will sometime. We'll sit down and watch the film with Leonardo DiCaprio that she was in. It seems long, One Battle After Another. It looks interesting, but it's kind of long, and I'm not big on like political type woke films. But I did say I will look at it. I will sit down and just watch it, just to get the full gist of it. It's a great cast in there, and the clips I saw, you know, really, I can see why they gave her the nomination for the Oscars and the Golden Globe Award. She's very talented, indeed. The icon name kind of threw me off a bit. I would kind of maybe change that. I would change that, and I get it. You know, I get the definition of it, their version of it. I would change the name. I wouldn't say icon. I would say just drop it, whatever. Say entertainer of the year. You know what I mean? Influencer of the year, power mover of the year, something like that. You know, I see icon. I think icons have been around for a while, and I get the definition, and that's their prerogative, and that's cool. I don't know. I just like the name icon for someone who's 35 who has a lot left to accomplish, a whole lot. I mean, this is just the, you know, this is just tip of the iceberg with her. But again, very talented. The movie, The Rip on Netflix, which is dope. But I'll check out one battle after another. I will. I probably before the summer is out, if not sooner, I'll sit down and watch it and just, you know, I'll let you know about it. You know what I'm saying? So it should be cool. But kudos to her. B.E.T. Awards next week, hosted by Drewski, who's very funny. You know, culture's biggest night. So when you done watching this, because I do mine on Sundays, I'll probably drop it before the awards. If not, afterwards, just check it out. And I'll probably give you my review on it the following week. I'll probably be counting how many N-words they'll bleep out or leave in. It's B.E.T. I'm being honest with you folks. You know me by now. I'm just kind of curious how many times they're going to say the N-word on this one. And you can tell when they bleep it out. You definitely can tell. Trust me. I have a trained ear for it. So I already know. But kudos to her. TEYANA again, is very, very talented. And I can't wait to see what happens next with her. And what else she does acting-wise and music-wise. I heard some of her songs. She can sing, too. She got that. She's very talented. And then, like I said, the acting thing is dope. So we'll see. All right, moving on. I got some things. I don't know what to start with. I don't know. Okay, this is right here. Faison Love, comedian, actor Faison Love, lawyer says actor was homeless, lives off of Elf, the movie Elf royalties, and court hearing for $250K unpaid child support. He was only homeless for a very brief period of time, a lawyer for the actor who was released from jail just past Juneteenth. Faison Love, the actor known for his roles in Elf, A Couple's Retreat, and Friday, have been released from jail. In his first court appearance, his lawyer revealed that he has been struggling with homelessness and poverty. The California-based actor, 58, was released from jail on Friday, June 19th, 3 days after he was arrested on 2 counts of contempt of court in Florida's Hillsborough County and booked into a Tampa jail on Tuesday, June 16th, according to jail records. And a statement from Love's attorney, Glenn Lansky, provided to this article. He was originally arrested in California, where he was served a 16-day jail sentence before he was transported to Florida, records show. The arrest came after Tiffany Lee, identified by several outlets as Love's ex, reopened a declaration of paternity case on June 11th involving Love. Court records show she claimed that he owes around $250,000 in unpaid child support payments. During his first court appearance at a hearing on Friday, Lee and her attorney claimed that he has not paid any of the court order payments in years per the article Complex. She also alleged that the replacement actor once told her he wasn't going to get she wasn't going to get a dime, and said he intended to stop working to avoid the court order payments, according to the outlet. Meanwhile, Love's attorney said Lee and her attorney are painting him as a complete villain, adding that Love has a history of homelessness and financial hardship. Love said in the court that his income was too low to afford the court-ordered $2,500 per month child support payments. According to the outlet, the actor who appeared in court in a wheelchair said he had faced homelessness and poverty and relies on annual ELF royalty checks around $10,000 to survive each year. According to the court documents obtained by TMZ, Love has also claimed that his highest gross annual income in the last 5 years was $13,000, and his income for 2025 was zero. In the Friday hearing, Lansky also revealed that the actor was previously been homeless and that he has missed scheduled movie roles while jailed over the contempt charges. Quote, I think he wants to act, Lansky said, his lawyer. According to the attorney, he wants to write. He has contacts, in the business. Hopefully he's able to get more gigs. He was homeless. He lived in a car, Love attorney said in the hearing per this outlet. That's how the mighty has fallen. That's tough to hear. The things like that. Of course, it's his side, her side, so in the middle is the truth. And I haven't seen him in a while anyway. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a thing where I haven't seen Face on Love in a long time in any movie or TV show. And sometimes the industry gets fickle. Sometimes when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. When it gets cold, it gets ice cold. Like, it's hard to find something, and especially if you might be typecast, you looked a certain way, they don't know where to put you at. You never know. It might be some some stuff behind the scenes that's been happening that the industry knows about and they don't want to deal with you. And that could happen also. And, things happen. Look, life be life, and everybody falls on hard times. Doesn't matter who you are, no matter what race, color, creed, him or her, everyone falls on hard times. It happens. You can't stop it. Life just be life. So I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully he gets it together and does do what he's supposed to do, and just step up and pay and it's tough. In the industry, it's tough, man. Like, you got to make sure you save your money. And the biggest star got to be careful because their time in the spotlight can be dimmed quickly. Where next thing you know, you're getting all these good scripts and your next movie's a flop. No one wants to touch you. You know what I mean? And you got to find. That's why I always said, not on this show, but other shows, like different streams of revenue. You have to find different streams of revenue. You know what I mean? You have to. It's just the way it goes. And because sometimes you stay in one way, it just doesn't work out. Sometimes. That's why musicians, I kind of like when musicians switch up and they try different venues, because sometimes the music can just go ice cold. And in this situation, the rules probably dried up, and he probably couldn't find anything, and it happened. And that's what it is. So hopefully he gets it together. He gets back on his feet. I think the movie, and I seen the clip. I think the movie he's supposed to be might have been the Friday movie coming out. And of course, when you get in legal trouble, nobody's going to touch you. Nobody wants to be around you. No one's going to want to do business with you. And they're not going to stop production, because you're in jail. You dig what I'm saying? So, hopefully he gets it together at the end of the day, and he finds himself, back for his sake and his kids' sake, so forth. No one should be homeless at all, living in a car, and so we'll see. So, man, hopefully he gets it together. Like I said, it's a tough thing to hear. Shit happens. Life be lifing, All right, let's move on. Mystical, the rapper Mystical, sentenced to 20 years in a rape case. Rapper Mystical has been sentenced to 20 years in prison after pleading guilty to raping a woman at his Louisiana home in 2022. The victim appeared before the court on Tuesday and asked for the maximum sentence according to WBRZ. She spoke of the incident where Mystical, quote, choked her, pulled braids out of her hair, and forcibly raped her. After she spoke, the rapper told the courtroom, "If I did that to you, I deserve the max sentence." Mystical, whose real name is Michael Tyler, was arrested in 2022 for first-degree rape and false imprisonment. This past March, he pleaded guilty to lesser charges of a third-degree rape. He filed a motion this past Friday to withdraw his plea because, quote, he did not have sufficient opportunity to fully consider the consequences before confessing to the crime. The filing stated that he was under significant emotional distress and felt substantial pressure to make an immediate decision. The rapper, best known for hits like Shake Your Ass and Danger, was arrested in 2022 on accusations of beating, choking, and robbing a woman at his home in Ascension Parish. The victim, who was not named in the report, said he took her keys, phone, and raped her while she searched for the money he had taken. He then allowed her to leave after forcing her to send him money via Cash App. The 55-year-old has been facing a life sentence. What have been facing a life sentence, had he been convicted of initial charges that included first degree rape, simply criminal damage of property, domestic abuse, battery by strangulation, simple robbery, and false imprisonment in the assault. Mystical faced similar domestic abuse charges in 2004 after sexually assaulting his hairstylist and subsequently spent 6 years in prison. In 2012, he was jailed for 3 months on misdemeanor domestic abuse charges, and 5 years later, he was charged with rape and kidnapping before the case was dropped. Well, he's right. If he did all that, give him the max. Throw that motherfucker under the prison. You know what I mean? If he admit to it and he felt as though that, listen, he knew what he did, and I don't know about the other thing, if it was stress related or under emotional whatever. I don't know. But if he did do it, if he copped to it, then that's something he needs to pay for. He needs to be in prison. He needs to serve that time. Excuse me. And that's a lot of time. He's 55 years old. So you do the math. He do the full 20. He's coming out 75 years old. That's it. Like, even though 75 is old, but still got some juice left in the tank, those 20 years are gone. You can never get those back. And if he's saying this, it's coming from a place where he knows of guilt. He feels of guilt. Not anyone will just say that. You know, and like, it's something fishy about that whole statement. And if you feel as though I did that, then I should get the max sentence. I don't know. It's something kind of just weird about that whole thing. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like a sworn confession. He verbally said it, and it's like, once you say something like that, you can't just take it back. No one's going to take it back. It's like, you said it. You said it. That's it. Even if you like didn't mean it, it came out. They're going to take the first thing that you said, and you said it. So it must mean something. So he's going to do that 20. And allegedly, if he did that, then you got to do it, man. That's, you know what I mean? You deserve that punishment. You shouldn't have did that at all. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. So, you know, it's sad to see that. And there's another thing where, you know, so much talent and you waste it and you doing bullshit, stupid shit like this. It's ridiculous. So you deserve to get punished. You deserve what you get. You know what I mean? You deserve what you get because that was wrong and unnecessary. You could be out here making music, being with your kids, having fun, want to do some nonsense like this. Now the rest of your, you know, the rest of your majority of your life, for the next 20 years, you're behind bars, missing out on what we take for granted, freedom. You know, getting up and doing what we want to do and traveling and, you know, just the simple things of just getting up, going to the store, grabbing something to eat, you know, walking freely through your home without anyone telling you what to do, you know, or watching over you or anything like that. But he did it, then that's it. And he said he did it, so You gotta do those 20 years. All right, moving on. Let's see. Master P, Birdman with special guest Little Boosie announced U.S. tour. Another tour. All right, New Orleans, Cash Money Records and No Limit are joining forces for a 17-city U.S. tours this fall, and New Orleans is included. The tour kicks off Friday, September 11th in Houston at the Toyota Center before stopping at the Smoothie King Center the next night, Saturday, September 12th. Quote, the fans have been waiting for a tour like this for a long time. We came from New Orleans and built something the world have never seen before. Movement that changed music, hip-hop culture, and the business forever, Master P said. Other Louisiana rapper legends, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, BG, Silk the Shocker, Mia X, Mac, Mercedes, Fiend, Chopper Style, and Mr. Servon, I like that name, are also expected to make an appearance on various dates in the show. And it look like they're more so hitting the southern states with a couple of Midwest. So you got Houston, you got New Orleans, which is the hometown one, which is going to be crazy. In Atlanta, Indianapolis, Birmingham, Dallas, D.C., Sunrise, Florida, Tampa, Chicago, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. So it looked like they're staying within the Midwest to South area. So if you're in that area, go check that joint out. I think it'll be dope. And dig the move. Look, Mystical, if he wasn't fucking around, could have been performing, in front of the audience, shake that ass and danger and all that stuff. He could have been doing that. He could have been performing on stage in the fall. But he's not. Now the question is, I didn't hear Lil Wayne. I know you didn't hear Lil Wayne. But I think Lil Wayne will make an appearance. They're not going to do it without him. It's just one of those surprises. You know what I mean? He's not going to do the whole 17. I bet you he will be there September 12th at the Smoothie Center in New Orleans performing. He's your special guest. I bet you, man, I'm telling you, he will be. I'm telling you, he will be. They're not going to, one of the biggest legends in the game, especially from New Orleans and from Birdman's camp, as he says, that's my son. I can see that happening. They're not going to disrespect Wayne like that. In the Smoothie Center, he's going to be on that stage. I bet you. So I tell you the fuck what. In September, after the show come and go, I'm sure they're going to talk about it. I bet you Lil Wayne's going to be there. And we could tell if he does it, if Lil Wayne goes on a whole rant on X, say like, oh man, they came through here, they didn't invite me to be on there, because he got upset that time when they, the Super Bowl, they picked Kendrick Lamar over him, performing at the Smoothie Dome, or what do you call that thing, or the Mercedes Dome, and he got upset. So I think he's Louisiana royalty, he's hip hop royalty, he's a legend, icon, whatever you want to call it, in the game. And it's going to be a packed house, family, friends, and all that. You can't not have him there. He's alive and well as far as I know. And I'm sure that's part of the surprise, and the fans will go crazy because that's who they're going to be looking for. Because if Wayne don't show up performing in Louisiana, Birdman and them, all hell's going to break loose. So I expect him to be there. And like I said, Mystical could have been on there playing the hits in front of the whole crowd, but he's going to be hearing about it in prison, for the fucking antics he did. So he's missing out on good money and fun and the whole nine. But I'm telling you, I think it's going to be, that tour for the 17 cities is going to be lucrative, and I think it's going to be great. You got the talent like Master P, and you got the Cash Money, No Limit coming together, doing like a kind of a super duper tour. It works, and it's dope, and I think it's something they need to do. And I'm telling you, I think the September 12th one for New Orleans is going to be the best one, because they're home, and it's going to be just crazy and a lot of chaos, fun chaos. You know what I mean? Not the bad chaos. It's just fun chaos. And anyway, I digress. Moving on, let's see. I thought I had something else here. I do. There's a lot of arrests happening. Comedian Carlos Messina arrested on 12 tax-related felony charges in Los Angeles. Comedian Carlos Messina has been arrested for being one of California's biggest tax scofflaws. The minor Messina creator and star was taken into custody on Thursday morning in his home in Encino, California. In an afternoon press conference, Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman announced that Messina was charged with 12 felony counts relating to an alleged failure to file personal and business taxes. When reached by the publication, Messina's representation opted not to comment. Mencia, whose real name is Ned Arnell Holness. Yes, if you didn't know that, his real name is Ned Arnell Holness. What a fucked up name. Allegedly did not report $8.7 million worth of income between 19 and 24. He allegedly was sent 78 notices from the California Franchise Tax Board about his unfiled returns. Quote, that translates into over $300,000 of state tax, and we're not even dealing with whatever federal tax obligations he may have also not complied with. Hochman shared during the press conference he is on the California Franchise Tax Board list of the 500 greatest tax delinquents. Damn. In both personal and corporate income categories. If convicted, Messina could face over a decade in prison while also being required to pay back taxes and interest, which would double that amount owed, according to Hochman. Mr. Messina has an income most people can only dream of, and like everyone else, he is required to file his personal and corporate tax returns and pay his fair share, Hochman said in a subsequent statement. Failing to report millions of dollars in income is a slap in the face to hardworking Californians who diligently file and pay their taxes every year because they care about their communities and the public goods like police, fire rolls, and utilities their taxes dollars provide, and of course they don't want to get fucking arrested. Today, we are sending a message to the tax scofflaws that it is no longer business as usual in Los Angeles County. The days of free pass for felons to file returns and pay taxes are over. He pounds on the platform. Over. This is the first case filed by the DA office newly established business tax fraud unit. He pounds again. We will get you, Messina. No, he didn't say all that. Messina worked his way up the comedy scene in the 90s and eventually broke into television and with appearances on Moesha, The Bernie Mac Show, and The Shield. But his most notable work came from Comedy Central series Minor Messina, which aired for 4 seasons between 2005 and 2008. But as Messina's popularity grew, he earned a reputation for stealing jokes. George Lopez and Joe Rogan are among those to accuse Messina ripping off their material, with Rogan and Messina even once getting into a public confrontation over the matter. Comedy Central's South Park later parodied Messina's reputation of taking credit for jokes that weren't his. Yes, that's been going around for years now, that he steals jokes. Let's start with the taxes. You got to pay your taxes. No matter how rich or whatever, you have to. They're going to come for you. Forget, it helps you provide for the cops and fire. No, it helps put money in the government's pockets. That's a whole nother story. This is not a political show. You got to pay. You see what happened with people like Wesley Snipes, that pops into mind, and others. I think Lauryn Hill got in trouble. They take it seriously. They're going to make an example out of this cat. They're going to really make an example out of him because he's not coming correct, because he's not doing what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to pay his taxes, and he didn't. So they're going to make an example out of him. And you got to pay your taxes. That's just what it is. That's just, you got to pay. You know what I mean? I'd rather pay a lot in my taxes if I'm like that rich and keep my freedom than like get my freedom taken away and I gotta pay them back that and then some. No, they're gonna get their money one way or another. They're gonna get it. So just do what you're supposed to do, and that's it. And then he didn't do it. A lot of like Red Fox, he didn't go to jail, but he at the time in the late 80s, early 90s, the IRS seized his property. They took everything from him. You can YouTube it and see him on camera. He had a white T-shirt on, like V-neck T-shirt. I'll never forget it. And they're taking everything, Rolls Royce. I mean, they took everything out of his mansion because he didn't pay his taxes for a lot of years. He just wouldn't pay. So the IRS was like, man, fuck that, man. You know, they took everything, you know. And he was like, why do you know? No one would help him. He didn't pay his taxes. Look, how do you think they got Al Capone? Al Capone, the most legendary gangster, one of the most legendary gangsters of all time, he only went to jail because he didn't pay his taxes. Not because of the crimes he committed, like in the streets and nothing like that. It was because the government didn't get their money. That's all they cared about. Fuck the bodies he dropped in the street. Fuck the innocent people. It's like, hey, you didn't pay us. Fuck you, pay me. What? No, you going to jail. Oh, he killed innocent people? That happens. But he didn't pay us. We need our money. That's the government for you. But Carlos Mencia, I mean, he just, within the past couple of years, he just been hit with a lot of shit. And I've heard the stories about him stealing jokes. And you know what's interesting about comedy is like you can't, well, number one, you can't really trademark jokes. You can't. I heard comedians say that and they broke it down. And is, you know, like a lot of people, unfortunately, it makes comedy is already difficult as is. It's difficult to make people laugh. It's just is. It's a difficult art to do. Everyone level of laughter or comedy is different. Some like slapstick, some like dry humor, some like a little bit of both, some like visual, whatever. It's difficult to make people laugh, hands down. Comedy is just difficult. And then you add when you finally find that formula and you find that joke that kills, or this set that kills, and then you look up and another cat takes it and they just put a little spin on it, but you know what is yours. Like, yo, I created that. Now there's sometimes, and it happens in writing, where not knowing you created something very similar to someone else around that time or a little bit after or whatever. That happens. But that's rare. Comedy is such an open forum, whereas you definitely, it's easy to take somebody's joke. Because you're sitting there, you hear the joke, oh man, kill for him. All I would do is change this and put this and it worked for me. And that's what comedians do. Carlos Mencia did he lifted a Cosby joke that Cosby told decades ago. And the gist of it was about like this kid who, you know, went through life. He was a star athlete. He did everything, and his father helped him, and he you know, became, you know, for sports and all this. And his father's name. And the gist of it, and I'm not going to tell you the whole joke because I'm going to butcher it, but the gist of his father got him all the way to the pros in football, and he turns to the camera and he says, "Hi, Mom," and then acknowledge the father, right? Something the gist of that. So Carlos Mencia did a similar joke, and he just kind of flipped it around and changed it, but it was Cosby's original joke. And Rogan, Lopez, and a lot of others pointed that out, like he steals jokes, and I think, I believe someone down like he admitted that he did steal jokes or whatever, but that's like a huge no-no. It's an unwritten rule in comedy, like, yo man, don't steal my shit. Like, I took me time to hone it and craft it and get it right, and here you come taking it and making money off of it. That's a huge sin. You get ostracized big time from comedy, and when you steal somebody's art. When someone took their, listen, it's not easy going on stage telling a joke. And like I said before, when I used last week about Jay-Z using the Roots, you know, as a scrimmage before going to the big stage in Yankee Stadium. And I said comedians, before they do like a show on HBO or Hulu or Netflix, they have to do small little what called scrimmages, little bouts, in the clubs, just to test their cadence out, just to see how the joke run, if it worked. They put a lot of work into it. And I learned that years and years ago from Chris Rock. Chris Rock broke it down, like, for me to get on stage to do HBO special, it's a lot of work. I gotta hit the clubs. I gotta sit down. I gotta test it out, see if this works. Change that. You gotta find that routine. You gotta dig. You gotta find it. And also from D.L. Hughley, who's on Fresh Prince, and Will Smith thought he was funny because he cracked jokes. And D.L. Hughley was like, you know how long it took me to find this routine? How many times I got booed or whatever? It's difficult. You really gotta get in the trenches to find these jokes and get it right. And that's one of the main reasons why Eddie Murphy doesn't, like, it's kind of dragging his feet on doing stand-up comedy again. Because he said it. He was like, I want to do it. He said, but I'm lazy. He said, I have to go and work on a routine. He said, I can't just go on the stage and do an hour of a routine. He said, that's not going to work. He's like, I have to, like, go to different clubs. I got to see what works, what didn't work. And he said, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of stuff and work that goes into that. So for Messina to be stealing someone's joke that worked hard on it, he ostracized. And when I got out, you haven't seen him more, because he was the hottest thing in the mid-2000s. He was everywhere. Movies, Mono Messina was killing it, and took the place of Dave Chappelle. And I think it was right there with Key and Peele and all that stuff. And he was red hot. And then when he got an altercation, you can look it up on YouTube with Joe Rogan, for Joe Rogan was Joe Rogan Real Rogan, and he called him out on his shit. It was like, they went back and forth. And I think other comedians there called him out on, like, just taking their jokes and stealing their jokes. And that's just, again, it's a huge no-no. That's like in hip-hop, you biting somebody's rhyme. Well, you just straight biting. Like, yo, you biting my rhyme. You biting my style. You biting my flow, as they say. You know what I mean? And that's what it's like. And you have to find your voice in comedy. You have to find that cadence in all that stuff. And it's not easy to do. You have to work on it. It's a lot of ups and downs, more downs in the beginning than ups, to find your voice and find it. So when you finally got something, like, yeah, and next thing you know, you chilling about to go on, and the cat before you is saying your routine, and he just switched it up, and you're like, that's my fucking routine. And you thinking back like, I was with this dude on the road the whole time. He stole my shit. That's what Carlos did. You know what I mean? So, although he might have to pay it back, it's gonna be difficult for him to pay back because not too many people are gonna touch him. He's already kind of dirty. You know what I mean? Not comedy dirty, but where nobody wanted to fuck with him. And now, if he got to pay that back and still go behind bars or whatever, it's gonna be hard for him to get the gigs he want. Because he, not only that he was tarnished because he stole people's jokes, but the fact that now that you got locked up for, trying to cheat the government. So it's gonna be interesting. But for him to pay that back, it's gonna be crazy. I wouldn't expect him, if he gets out of this and somehow they work out a deal when he doesn't go behind bars, he's going to be really trying to be hanging and banging in those clubs. I don't see him being on Netflix or Hulu or HBO or any streaming service anytime soon with a special. Nobody's going to want to touch him at all. And then it's like this. If other comedians say on Netflix hear that they offer him a special, I'm sure they're going to go to Netflix like, either you don't do it or I'm walking. Because if you give it to him, I'm not fucking with Netflix because he's a dirty comedian, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of shit. A lot of that shit goes on behind the scenes. So it's going to be interesting on how he gets himself out of this going forward. If they're going to either avoid him going into prison and he just pay, or he's going in there doing the time, which he might do to make an example of him, and he got to pay that joint back and then some. No, man, this doesn't teach you anything. Pay your fucking taxes. No matter how big you are financially, pay your shit. Pay the state, pay the federal, and keep it moving, because you're not going to win. You're not at all. It's just, you ain't going to win against the I, the R, and the S. You're just not. pay your shit, pay your taxes. Or Irwin R. Shyster gonna come after you. You don't want that guy coming after you. Let's see. All right. Speaking of Key and Peele, shut up, phone. My phone going off. Let's see here. Key and Peele's plan to reboot Police Academy got canceled after Michael Brown killed in Ferguson, says Ike Barinholtz. A 2010's reboot of Police Academy was canceled after a tragic real-life incident sparked a national debate about the police use of force. On June 17th episode of the podcast, Funny You Ask with Ike Barinholtz, the comedian told a story to guest Joe McHale about an awkward pitch meeting he had with his writing partner, Dave Stassen. The pair was writing on a Police Academy reboot produced by and slated to star Barinholtz, Mad TV co-stars Jordan Peele and Keegan Michael Key. I get it out, y'all. But an ill-fated meeting wasn't what actually ended up putting the project on hold. Quote, years ago, my partner and I got hired to rewrite Police Academy for New Line Cinema, Barinholtz said. I don't even know if he's still alive. We might have to cut this, but the guy who created the original Police Academy came with a deal. So they said to us, we want you guys to write it and make it dirty, rated R, modern. He'll be at some of the meetings, but he won't have to listen to him. He said he'll be at some of the meetings, but we don't have to listen to him. All he wanted to do was give us the notes, but we would never do that in the first movie. Never. Oh, no. Mahoney would never say that, and he was adamant that we would have the original cast in the movie. We wanted them to have big parts, and we were like yada yada yada. Barinholtz continued. So when we're doing the pitch, my partner was like, so we have the scene, and that's when we see all this original cast. We see Hightower, we see Tackleberry, he's just naming all the dead people. And I was like, he didn't even do research to find out who's still alive in the cast. He was not happy. But more importantly, we were developing the film. Mike Brown got shot, and all of a sudden, we were making the movie for Key and Peele, and people were like, we're not making a cop comedy right now, where we're having these two hilarious black actors play police officers. On August 9th, 2014, an 18-year-old black man named Michael Brown was shot and killed by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, which launched more than a week of protests in which police used force and militarization came into debate. The officer was investigated but never indicted for any civil rights violations. The 1984 comedy Police Academy starred Steve Guttenberg, Kim Cattrall, and Bubba Smith, and was a box office hit that launched 6 sequels, both a live-action and animated series. Attempts at a reboot have started and stalled since 2003. Barinholtz is currently starring in a popular showbiz series satire The Studio, while Peele is working on his next secret film, and Key is filming his Romy and Michelle's high school reunion sequel. That definitely would have been awkward at the time, where, and kind of now, police is, a hot topic, but especially then when it just happened, it would have been difficult. Because the country was at unrest with it. And I do remember that time. I remember 2014 when it happened. That would have been horrible because of the situation, but it would have been horrible because I'm not big on reboots either. Some things just don't need to be touched. The Police Academy films in the 80s need to stay there. The characters, the era. Sometimes it's not just the characters itself, it's the era that you cannot change. Sometimes certain TV shows just fit perfectly in that era. And just trying to make it current doesn't work all the time. Doesn't really work at all. Some reboots should just be left alone. Some reboots should not be happening at all. But definitely that one. That's just something. It's a smart idea, for many reasons, not just for that, but just creatively. It just I don't know. Just thought of it. Again, that's campy slapstick comedy that I'm not big on. And the original Police Academy is funny, but again, throwing the reboot, throwing the situation with Michael Brown, it wouldn't work for many reasons. I think it was a smart thing to do to halt it on that, especially when we have Key and Peele, African American, being a part of it, and this is in the arrest that's happening in the country at the time due to the Michael Brown situation in Ferguson, Missouri. That was a good call, a good catch, and do I think they should do a reboot? No, certain things should not be touched. Like I said, majority of the cast have passed away, and certain things should just look. There's enough original writing out there that you need to tap into than rebooting stuff, because reboots do not often work. They just don't, because either the cast is gone or they just don't have it, or there's a distance between the current audience to the old cast. You know what I mean? And certain things should just be left alone. It just shouldn't touch. You just shouldn't do a reboot and everything. Certain things just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't work, in my opinion. I just don't think. I'm not big on reboots. I'm really not big on reboots. Certain things need to just be left alone. Period. It's just. There are some things I like to see rebooted because I'm kind of curious, but the majority, maybe like 1% of things I might want to see rebooted, but 99%, certain things you just like let it go, leave it alone. You're not going to capture lightning in the bottle. Again, with certain movies and TV shows. So, all right, moving on. Let me see. David Oyelowo apologizes using slavery to describe black Southern accents. David Oyelowo apologizes to using slavery and subservience to describe black Southern accents. He has issued an apology in his comments on black British and black Americans competing for movie roles sparked backlash online. Born British Nigerian actor David Oyelowo, last month comedian Drewski posted a skit that British actors are taking all the roles, which appeared to spoof 2013 12 Years a Slave, starring English actor, I'm gonna mess up his name, I know he is, Chatwale Iyaforo. I know I messed up his name. As a commentary on black British actors portraying American actors. Oyelowo, who portrayed Dr. Martin Luther King in 2014 biopic Selma, was asked about the skit while he was a guest on another podcast. On the podcast, David pushed solidarity among actors spanning the black diaspora and said that Drewski skits wasn't helpful. We are way better and way more powerful together than we are apart. I truly think so much of that mindset is born out of insecurity, the actor said. He continued, but what truly sparked, he didn't continue yet, but what truly sparked the backlash was the way David described Southern black accent. Quote, if you take the Nigerian accent like this and you slow it down, you put a lot of slavery in there, and then you start to put a little bit of subservience in it. This is what starts to happen to the Nigerian accent, man, he said. Clearly, the actor became aware of the backlash and released a lengthy apology on social media. Quote, I want to apologize unreservedly to all those who were rightly offended by my comments on the podcast. The podcast regarding Southern accents, it was the wrong thing to say, and it is not how I feel, David said. I can't say his last name, so I'm just saying his first name, make it easy for me. The actor continued by saying that he has deep respect and great love for black people of all kinds, especially those from the American South. Quote, reducing reducing a dialect born from the richness of and resilience of black Southern culture to anything less was careless and wrong, he continued. David concluded by expressing a care uplifting his black brothers and sisters from all places and his performances and public opinions. Please forgive my failure to do that in this instance, he wrote. I heard about it. We have an issue amongst ourselves for infighting. African Americans. Whether it's African Americans, Africans, blacks from England or whatever, there's a lot of infighting there. There's a lot of infighting, and it should stop. Actually, we should come together. We need to be more together than anything. Whether they're British or not, be happy that a person of color has that role. You know what I mean? It's somebody, of African descent has that role. So it doesn't matter if they're American or African or whatever. It shouldn't matter. We should come together, and we should not be kind of warring with each other. Now, what he said, I don't think he meant anything by it. We all say shit that we try to explain something don't come out the right way. It happens. He's not new. He's not the only person that has done that. We all say something like, "Damn, that's not. I didn't mean to come out that way. What I was trying to say was blah 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 blah." But it did come out that way, unfortunately. He apologized, and it happens. And I think how sometimes, and we all done this in our minds. We're saying it like this, and this, and we're thinking it's right, and then when it comes out, we don't realize, damn, that came out the wrong way. It happens. And I'm sure he didn't mean anything by it, but at the end of the day, we just need to stop warring against each other, whether it's because of complexion, whether because of dialect, where they from. We're all people of color. African Americans, Africans, British, it doesn't matter. We need to come together. You know what I mean? So if they want to outsource, to other countries of British and African Americans, hey, somebody of color got it. You know what I'm saying? Be proud of that. We need to work together more on that. Whether it's Idris Elba, whether it's David Oyelowo. You know what I mean? I can go on and on and on, but I can't pronounce their names right. It's somebody of color. That's what we should be proud about and cheer them on. And maybe more doors will open up, and they help. They open, they can help us in, and you never know. But I genuinely think it was a mistake what he said. I don't think he meant anything by it. He should maybe try to get his point across, and it came out the wrong way. And maybe that's what he did. Had to slow it down. It came out that way. He just used the wrong words. We've done it. None of us is immune from that at all. None of us is immune from that. We've said something that was sometimes you gotta be whatever. And then realize I said that wrong. I should have. And some people, what do you mean by that? You're like, well, I should have. It happens. That's anyone and everyone, no matter what race, creed, color, him or her. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? So, all right. I got a double bubble before we get on out of here. I got one on Chaka Khan. And Snoop Dogg. What the fuck? Let's start with Chaka Khan. Because Chaka Khan is two. Chaka Khan by herself. And then Chaka Khan with Snoop Dogg, what the fuck? Chaka Khan inks catalog deal with Harbor View. The beautiful group at Harbor View gets my music means not just as a business, but a body of love, Khan said. Legendary singer Chaka Khan has entered into a partnership with Harbor View for a stake her catalog. I don't know, that doesn't make any sense. It's unclear the specifics of the agreement, including what rights and how much Harbor View has acquired, as the company didn't disclose any of the transaction terms, only calling it a partnership focused on catalog development, global licensing, and the development of new creative ventures. Financial details of the transactions wasn't disclosed either. Chaka Khan is a remarkable talent, an artist whose voice, spirit, and presence have moved effortlessly across generations while never losing their power or soul. Harbor View founder and CEO Sharice Clark said in a statement, she is not only an iconic vocalist, but a mother, grandmother, and great-grandmothers whose energy, authenticity, and sense of self continue to inspire. As both a musical force and a fashion icon, Shaka embodies a rare blend of strength, style, and spirit. We are honored to work alongside her as she continues to evolve her legacy in ways that feels as vibrant and resonate as ever. Khan is one of the most celebrated singers of her generation, a particularly influential figure in funk and R&B. As a member of the group Rufus, a group of Rufus, and a solo artist. Among her most iconic records are "I'm Every Woman," Tell Me Something Good," "Through the Fire." The deal comes a month after Khan's released her latest song, Shockzilla, which I'm gonna get to in a minute, with Snoop Dogg. Music, quote, "Music is the most powerful and generous thing I know. You give it away and somehow it always comes back bigger. Seeing these songs still finding new ears, new hearts fill me up with joy." Khan said in a statement, "The beautiful group at Harbor View gets what my music means, not just a business, but a body of love that matters to me deeply." Now, to go along with this, like I said, she also, I'm gonna comment on the partnership. She also links up with Snoop Dogg. What the fuck? Shaka Khan links up with Snoop Dogg for Boogies in the soul collaboration as she announces Shockzilla album. Shaka Khan and Snoop Dogg are ready to dance. The two superstars release a new collaboration, Boogies in My Soul, on Friday, June 19th, as the second single off of Khan's upcoming album, Shockzilla. She also shared the album cover, artwork, and release date. Boogie in My Soul is a high-energy dance pop track that opens with Snoop take on Melly Mel's iconic Shaka Khan chant from 1984 single "I Feel For You." The song also features uplifting lyrics encouraging listeners to show the world your light. I get it out, y'all. There's nothing you can do to ever erase this, says Snoop, who's 54, in his statement. If it's in your system, now let it get it out. Now let's get it out your soul. The song was released alongside a music video that finds Snoop and Khan, who's 73, joining forces in front of a rowdy crowd. Excuse me, and the track plays as footage is shown of people dancing while the two superstars perform. Shockzilla is set for a Friday, September 18th release via Earth Song Records and BMG. Last month, Shaka Khan debuted in its first single, Shockzilla, exclusively with this article, People Magazine. The album, quote, is a joy. It's about freedom. It's about love, about loving yourself, loving each other, and finding your power no matter where you are in life, she said in a statement about the upcoming album, set to also feature collaborations with Sia and Lenny Kravitz. I lived a life since my last record. I wanted these songs to celebrate that. Continue the 11-time Grammy winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member whose last album, Hello Happiness, came out in 2019. This music is about being human, feeling good, and stepping into your power. That's dope. That is dope. Is he a living legend? 73, still doing her thing, and she's doing it with Snoop Dogg. What the fuck? If I was allowed to, I would say I would add this on the music playlist, but I don't do that no more, and this is not that show. But I do want to check it out and hear it. I love Shaka Khan. Grew up listening to Shaka Khan, and definitely want to hear Boogie in My Soul with Snoop Dogg. And the partnership with Harbor View is good. See, that's different than normally where someone will, kind of sell their catalog and walk away. A partnership to me sounds like, all right, she's getting something out of it. It's like a part of it stays within her family, stays within her legacy for her grandkids and great-grandkids. You know what I mean? She has a huge catalog. So I think, even though they didn't go into details about the partnership, I think it's best that it's a partnership than her selling it, the catalog. Like some artists have sold it for whatever reason. The partnership sounds good to me. It could be like maybe a 5-year deal, 10-year deal, where at least, God forbid she moves on, her family can continue to get the royalties from her hits, from just a long extensive catalog of great music that she has. So go check out Shakazilla, September 18th, and then you have the singles of Shakazilla that's out, and then one Boogie in the Soul with Snoop Dogg. What the fuck? So that should be dope. So, Shaka Khan. Shit. I'm gonna go listen to I Feel For You. Come on now, Shaka Khan is dope. Anyway, enough of me grandstanding about Shaka Khan and her fine ass. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fathers. I give you your balloons today and every day. Don't let nobody sell you short. If you are in the father role, shine. You're doing a great job. If no one else telling you, if your wife ain't telling you, if your financiers ain't telling you, if your girl ain't telling you, if your boyfriend ain't telling you, if your husband ain't telling you, fathers, you're doing your thing. Keep doing it. I see you. Stand up, man. I'll give you your balloons and everything else with it. And I hope you have a great Father's Day. And if you ain't have it this year, make sure going forward that you will. You deserve it. It ain't easy being a parent. It ain't easy being a father. So do your thing. Keep doing. When you feel as though no one loves you, man, I love you, bro. We in the same fraternity. Hang in there. You got this. You're going to bring these kids up right. We're going to get them to pull their pants up and keep their panties on, all that shit, keep them off the pole, all that shit. That's what we do. That's what we do. I give you your balloon. So happy Father's Day to you cats out there. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. And with that being said, everyone, Lord willing, I'll see you next week for another episode of Who is Kyle Graham Podcast. Remember, press the subscribe button on any of these platforms: YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Apple Podcasts. Who is Kyle Grant Podcast at Riverside.com. Press the subscribe button. Get it out there. Tell everybody about it. Spread the word. Let everybody know about this rant and other things. I got guests that are coming on. I'm lining them up. I'm getting their schedules situated. Getting their schedules situated. Trust me, things are coming this summer. It should be a lot of fun for this podcast and for you guys. Remember, try to stay positive. Stay focused. Believe whatever higher power you believe in. It's going to work itself out, as always. That's it. See you next week for another episode of Who is Kyle Graham Podcast. I'm done. Later. This has been another KG John production.